Hello and welcome to MCPSS Athletics. My name is Calvin Chris, Athletic Director from Mobile County Public Schools. Studio today we have from Davidson High School, Athletic Director and Head Football Coach, Coach Fred Riley. But first, let's get to the scoreboard. The second-ranked Blunt Leopards beat Saraland 42-7 behind Toomey. The Florida commit ran for 3 touchdowns and threw for 3 to keep the Leopards undefeated. Theodore jumped out to a big lead to dominate Region 1 foe Fairhope 35-10. Williamson lost to St. Paul's 32-6. BC Range remains undefeated with a 42-24 win over Gulf Shores. The Red Raiders were led by Harper's 4 touchdowns and 292 yards rushing. Jackson and Wetzel each ran for 2 touchdowns as the Viger Woods remain undefeated in region play with a 49-0 win over Faith Academy. Mary G. Montgomery upset Murphy 27-17 behind the quarterback play of O'Shea, who finished 19 of 31 with 2 touchdown passes as the Vikings run their record to 3-1. Clemens caught 3 touchdown passes and Edwards ran for 2 as Davidson continues their winning ways with a 41-21 win over Baker. LaFleur dropped a 31-0 decision to Daphne. Centennial defeated Leroy 35-24, and Bryant dropped a 30-7 decision to Foley. And that is it for this week's scoreboard. Now we're going to go to our Scholar Athlete of the Week, and that will be an athlete from Centennial High School.
It's a privilege. I mean, I've always worked hard, did everything in school and on the field, and it's a privilege, a huge privilege.
He's the example of what we think about with our CHS Wildcat students. We tell them when they come on campus that they're scholars, and he certainly takes that to heart. And in the classroom, and maintaining a 3.5 average or above is not an easy thing to do. You have to be very dedicated in the classroom. You have to be dedicated in your extracurricular activities and be very organized. And Levi is a great example of a student being able to do that and do it well. And we're proud to see that.
Well, I've always been told that I had to keep my grades high to play baseball, and that's what I love. So I know that I have to always study hard and do good in the classroom if I want to do what I love. So that's how I've always balanced it out.
I've always told him grades come first. So if grades don't stay up, then no matter how important sports are, he'll sit the bench until the grades come up. So he's always made sure that he kept them up.
I mean, I really look forward to baseball season. I really enjoy watching him play. He gives it 110%.
And as you grow through and get older and mature as a student in a high school, you want to be the role model for those younger kids coming in, and Levi is a great example of that.
We have Coach Fred Riley, Head Football Coach and Athletic Director at Davidson High School. Coach Riley, appreciate you being here. Thanks for having me on. Coach Riley, you've had a real good season. You want to talk a little bit about these first games that you've had?
You know, we have played well the first 4 games. We've been had a couple of moments in each game where we were a little spotty, but overall we're certainly very pleased with how the kids have played. Our assistant coaches have really done an outstanding job with these guys. This is a team that we've been looking forward to coach. I mean, we didn't make any bones about it. These kids have been starting since they were sophomores, and they've taken some lumps as sophomores and juniors, and now as seniors they play certainly. They take that experience and play in a little more mature manner. We haven't blinked when things have gone against us during the game and just kept on playing and go to the next play, and they've been rewarded for that.
Coach, I personally watched the McGill-Davidson game. were the kids, was it hard to get them back up? Because that was just a devastating loss.
You know, if they had, last year it would have been, you know, as a junior, sophomore team, it would have been very difficult for them to get reloaded. But I think it just affirmed to them that they had a chance to be as good as they thought they were. And and obviously you don't do any believe in moral victories and all that, but you could tell by the look in their eyes after the game that it was almost like, we'll never let that happen again. And that we're going to be better next week than we were tonight. And we've gotten better every game and played better every game. And again, that's what an experienced team will do. Something, you know, somebody, you know, again, a group of kids last year probably would have, it'd probably been a couple of weeks before we'd have emotionally recovered. But this bunch practiced well on Monday and went on back to work.
Well, Coach, you know, there's a good possibility you're going to meet them again. Is that in the back of your kids' minds? Oh,
I think kids are that way. I mean, you know, when they you know, we try to get them locked in on today. They're looking, all right, okay, if we can take care of business and win this game, we would get a chance to play them again. You know, and I heard them talk about it in the locker room. I said, well, that's fine. If you want to play these guys again, practice well today. You want to play those guys again that beat us week 2? Beat Theodore. You know, Theodore's the biggest game of the year this year. And when you're an average team or sorry team, which we've sort of been the last couple of years, you can pick out homecoming and senior night and your rivalry games as being a big game. When you have a good team, the next game is the biggest game of the year, and because of the implications if you were to lose that game. And so we've gotten to that place now where Theodore's the biggest game of the year. We've got to lock in on them, and then we get to an open date, which we're really going to need after 5 tough weeks. I mean, I am looking forward to that open date, and you know, once we you know, see what the result of this one is.
Coach, of course, everybody knows that the area or the region you're in is tough. It's tough as any in the state. Talk a little bit about some of the other teams. You know, on the other side of the bay, you know, we caught Foley at a time when their quarterback was hurt. He's the fast twitch kid that they have on their team that gives them an opportunity to run off with it. And he didn't play, and so they've struggled without him a little bit. Fairhope, you know, Tim Carter told me before the season you know, that it was going to be a struggle for them to win many games this year because their starting quarterback decided to play just basketball, and he was their fast twitch guy that they had that they could build a system around. You know, over here, you know, I mean, we knew that Bruce, they were going to struggle a little bit. They're just in a really down gene pool cycle right now, and that has expressed itself. And then, you know, how the rest of us play out, other than McGill. I mean, it's sort of McGill, and then that rest of us, that who's going to be the best of the rest of the guys after them, and that's what we're all playing for right now. You know, us and Baker and Theodore have a little tournament going on right now. You know, they played Baker 2 weeks ago. We played Baker. Now we play Theodore, and to have an opportunity to sweep that little mini tournament and have tiebreaker edge on those two guys going down the stretch is really important. Then you throw in Mary G, you know, who you know, sort of, you know, changes the entire dynamic of the region by beating Murphy. And you know, that changes everything in terms of how you look at your schedule down the road and how all these pieces start fitting together. Coach, talk a little about some of the kids. You got, I know, some prospects this year, and so talk a little bit about that.
And it's good to have some. I reminded our coaches that you know, we had a JV game last week, and I don't know that we made 3 first downs in the JV game on Monday. And I reminded our guys, you know, we're running the same system we're running on Friday and averaging 35 points a game, guys. It's not the system. It's the fast twitch ability of your players. And you know, we had 0 at Davidson, 12th year last year. We had 0 kids sign football scholarships last year. 0 kids signed basketball scholarships last year. That's where we were gene pool wise. We have 6 on this team who have offers, and you know, one of the guys that came, you know, of course, Dante Edwards. Everybody's sort of known about Dante and what he brings to the table as a running back. He started since a sophomore. Cephas Johnson, the quarterback, had this amazing growth spurt from 6 foot 165 to 6'4", 195 in a year. You know, and all of a sudden now has South Alabama as a South Alabama commit. Tavares Jones is a kid that was a Crichton Optimus Club Player of the Week last week as a running back. You know, he's a track kid, and the light sort of just came on for him. He finally just figured it out. And then this past game, because we had an injury in the secondary, he plays safety and makes 9 tackles at safety. You know, so all of a sudden he's become a football player. You know, the James Clemens. James Clemens is a kid that was with us, got mad at me last year, went and sat out a year at Theodore, came back to us. You know, and because they never made a move to Theodore, so he returned to his home school, and I think he's caught 7 touchdown passes in 4 games. The difference James Clemens has brought to us offensively, that we threw a 5-yard hitch against Baker the other night, and it went for a 55-yard touchdown. We threw a 5-yard hitch against McGill, and it goes for a 70-yard touchdown. When all of a sudden, instead of 2nd and 5, you kick an extra points, all of a sudden you're better. You know, and our front people on both sides of the ball have played extremely well. Our defense tends to get overlooked. I mean, you look at the scores that we've had, but our defense has yet to give up more than 3 scores in a game. And you know, the McGill game was 39-36, but it was triple overtime.
Right.
They'd given up 3 scores in regulation. They gave up 3 scores at Daphne in regulation. The offense had thrown a pick 6. You know, they're giving up less than 300 yards a game total offense right now. Zach Portlock's playing well on that side of the ball at linebacker. Jeff Marks at defensive end, who's a junior who's already got Division I offers. Our secondary has played well. It's been really solid there. And then the area that we really were sort of wondering about were our kickers and punters, because they were all first-year guys. I mean, our kicker's a sophomore. He missed his first extra point. That would have been the 42nd point the other night, and that was the first kick he's missed this year. Joe Montano has played Joe Montano, what a great name. Huh? And he's played extremely well. Bryant Lothar, our snapper, every snap has been perfect. You know, it's his first year to do this, and so all those pieces have really fallen into place where on Friday we really looked like a complete team, and I'm really proud of them.
That's great. After this break, we'll be back with Coach Riley.
The Mobile County Public Schools Signature Academies program offers a variety of specialized curriculum for highly interested and motivated students. These academies provide students with choices ranging from aviation to healthcare, advanced information technology to international studies, from engineering to coastal studies. These high-quality hands-on programs prepare students for careers readily available in Mobile County. Signature Academies program. It starts with us.
Hi, I'm Martha Peake, Superintendent of Mobile County Public Schools.
And I'm Kay Ivey, your Lieutenant Governor.
We want to remind you to use caution while operating motor vehicles in school zones.
And remember to observe all traffic laws relating to school bus safety and stop ahead when you see red.
Protecting and keeping our children safe, it starts with us.
Hi, I'm Pat Mitchell, Transportation Director for the Mobile County Public School System. Remember, stop ahead when you see red.
Like what? Smartboard, that's right.
Welcome back. We got Coach Riley here from Davidson High School. Coach, talk a little bit about your game this week with Theodore.
You know, obviously every region game is a big game, and you know, playing down there is always difficult. You know, we play the majority of our games on artificial turf. We don't play many games on grass, and to play down there on grass, 50-50 chance of rain all week this week. It'd certainly deal with a wet field, which we have not had to deal with all year long. Eric is a guy that believes in running the football and playing great defense, even though they've thrown for a lot of yards this year. His still fundamental core belief is to be physical and run the ball, and we certainly expect that kind of game. They have thrown a lot of touchdown passes in terms of throwing deep balls. Which everybody's sort of doing now. Everybody's going to take their 4 to 8 deep shots a game and turn it, 50-50 balls and see who can go up and get them. They got a big 6'2" kid who's caught it more than he's not caught it, and that creates a major problem for you. Quarterback throws the deep ball very well. And then defensively, they've got one of the ESPN top 300 defensive linemen at nose tackle. and who takes up a lot of space in there and is a good football player. So it's going to be a great game. You know, UTV 44 people said they wanted to try to flex this game and get this game on this week, but they were committed already to Murphy and Baker, so that's where they're going to be this week. But a lot of eyes in Region 1 are going to be in Theodore this week, there's no doubt.
Coach, I think one of the keys to your success has been your staff and being able to, you're one of the few that's able to keep a staff for any length of time.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about them.
I tell you, after the game, and I, as a Davidson person all these years, I don't really think I can describe how much winning that game Friday meant to our coaches and to our kids. And we had lost to them 2 years in a row. And a lot of our kids live in West Mobile now and border right up to their school zone and played park ball with them. And you know, I don't know that I knew how much the staff wanted to win the game. I knew the kids wanted to win, but I didn't realize how badly they wanted to win until they ran up in the stands with the students after the game. Right. And how important it was to our student body to win that game. And as coaches, you know, right after the game, when we got back to the building, I mean, I teared up a little bit. I told, you know, P.J. Wright and Jay Pope and Ken Daigle and Andrew Ferris, I want to thank y'all for sticking with me through these last 3 years and getting us to this team and to this season, because a lot of guys would have bailed. And a lot of guys would have just, you know, well, you know, it's just not going right. I got to find somewhere else to go. And those guys, you know, stuck with us through, you know, 6 wins, 4 wins, 3 wins, knowing that we didn't have a great gene pool and we were going to have to slug through it. And we stuck together through that, and then added Jabrian Niles and added Andrew Fallon and Ken Boatman and Will McMillan and those guys. And then Chris Agee also stayed with us through this as our kicking coach. And, you know, so, I mean, that was the first thing I did was thank them for that game, because what they slugged through with me, what we slugged through together the last 3 years to get to this team, it really meant a lot to me. To you know, you want to accomplish something really good, and you want to accomplish it with people that you love.
Exactly.
All together, and it makes it. You're right. It makes it better, and I appreciate those guys with all my heart. Trust me.
Coach, I want you to talk a little bit about your wife. She is such a big supporter of what you do, and I talked with her a couple of times the other night, and she's just all a bundle of nerves and on the sideline, and I know she means a lot to you. Right. And talk a little bit about what she means to the football program.
Well, she, you know, first of all, obviously, what in terms of being a football coach's wife and what she brings to the table there, and the number of things that she takes off my plate, so I can pursue what I want to pursue and what I'm passionate about, and she makes my life so much easier in terms of how she manages the house and manages the kids and all that stuff, and tries to, you know, deflect things away from me that I don't have to deal with, first and foremost. Then with the kids, I mean, you know, she's at every pregame meal. Every kid hugs her every time they go. It's almost superstition to give her a hug as they go out of the building. She scores every touchdown with us. If you watch enough TV games, she is on the goal line. I mean, the officials, Jimbo Perez told me that they should throw a flag on her, but nobody in the association has guts enough to throw a flag on her. And because she's, I mean, there's every time we score, she's like the pylon cam. I mean, she's right there doing it. And she gets more airtime than anybody, I think, and maybe rightfully so. And, but the kids love her. You know, they understand. It brings a personal touch to the program. That we're people. We're not just coaches. I mean, we're not just robots that go crawl in a hole and come back out and coach you the next day. That we have personal lives, and she adds that great touch to it. And she's a special person, no question.
We're going to take another break, and we'll be back in just a minute.
Murphy High School played a big part of me getting to the next level, getting to college. I took honors classes here just to, you know, have that extra boost. From the University of South Carolina, it helped me tremendously. I played football there for 3 years and decided to go pro after my junior year. I think just the stuff that helped me at the Murphy High School helped me carry on to the University of South Carolina. Now I'm playing my 7th season in the NFL.
The class of 2015 earned over $97 million in scholarships, and the class of 2016 is already on its way, graduating students who are college and career ready. It starts with us.
Mobile County Public Schools has equipped its students to achieve more than $96 million in college scholarships. These work-ready certificates include dual enrollment college credit, construction, certified nursing assistant, Microsoft Office specialist, welding, and the list goes on, striving to graduate students to be college and career ready. Higher learning, growth, and development. It starts with us.
Welcome back for our last segment. Coach, I want you to talk a little bit about something that I know is very near and dear to your heart, and you do a wonderful job yourself in the school, is your cancer awareness that you do.
Right.
And just go into a little bit how you started that and,
right.
and why you started
Sure,
that.
of course, actually 7 years ago, last week, Susan was diagnosed with breast cancer. She's 7 years out now and cancer-free. Right. And it was the 2009 season. Probably the best team we've ever had, even though we only went to the third round. We lost to Prattville 10-7 in the third round, and Prattville won the state championship that year very solidly. Wow. That was the year we had Jimmy Ward and Jaquaski Tard on the team, so we were pretty good. Yeah. And and Susan was diagnosed during that season. I mean, and then within 10 days, it went through all the things that breast cancer people go through. I mean, just like that in the middle of the season, she missed one game. She missed one game, and she was on the sideline after that. The student body, the cheerleaders, they all really, the whole school rallied around her, and we decided we wanted to start doing pink out things. And it was when the pink out things were really just sort of getting started. The NFL was doing it, and we decided we were going to do it and raise money for breast cancer awareness. Every year since that year, we have donated $1,000 to the American Cancer Society at a pink out pep rally each year that the student council runs. Susan's always the special guest at that and is there for the check presentation. This year it is our Murphy game, which is week 9, but we do pick one game a year and do that, and that's where it lands this year. We let the kids that one game wear whatever pink they want to wear. There are no restrictions on what kind of pink that you wear, but it's something that the school, really their recognition of how special she is and how much she has brought to the school. It was very, very little about me. I just happened to be the get all the credit for it, but I deserve about that much. So that's really a Davidson labor of love there, and I'm really proud to be a part of it.
Well, that's great. Coach, most people don't realize along with your head football job, you are the athletic director, which can be a full-time job in itself. So talk a little about being athletic director and some of your other programs this year.
Well, first of all, being 56 versus 36 makes you a better athletic director, because you figure out that you can't do it all. Mm-hmm. It's impossible. It's an impossible job. And to hire the right people and get the right people in place and delegate a lot of stuff and allow them, and people to do things different than the way you do it, but better. I mean, they really, when you're like, well, I want to do it that way, but dang, it turned out pretty good. Yeah. I mean, and to get the right people in the right spots, get them in the right seats on the bus, and then allow them to grow and do things on their own without looking over their shoulder. I mean, I do so little now, it's really astounding. I mean, how little I actually do it, Davis, because all these guys, people that we've been blessed enough to get plugged in, they love what they do. And they want responsibility, and they want to take care of C2C, and they want to take care of the coaches' stuff, and they do all that. And they take all that stuff off of me, and they just do such a tremendous job in helping me in that area. where I can do all the other things that need to be done. And so the paperwork things and stuff like that, our staff just does such a great job with that. And you know, the academic advising and all those things. Again, certainly I oversee all that and I'm ultimately responsible for it, but gosh, I've got good people in place to take care of all those things. You know, our programs are, you know, baseball had a great season last year. We, you know, we got beat by McGill in the quarters. The furthest baseball team had gone in 30 years.
Wow.
And actually it was 35 years. And we had golfers go to sub-state 3 years in a row. We actually have a diving team now in Warrior Land. Wow. Our swim team just about has the same numbers as our football team does now. I don't know if that's good or not, but the numbers of kids that are involved in extracurriculars, you know, when we play a football game, over a third of our student population is involved in a football game, between the players, the trainers, the managers, the film crew, the fans, the band, the cheerleaders, the ROTC, the Wild Warrior group. I mean, over 33% of our students are at a football game when we play, and it is an event. And again, there's a lot of working parts there and a lot of people overseeing all that, and the things that are going on behind me during a game. It's really amazing that all, you know, between Tim Beatty with the band and Julie with the cheerleaders, and you know, all these organizations, that all these things that are that if one thing's not quite right, everybody notices. Those folks are amazing and really make me look really good.
I don't want to get away today without you talking a little bit about Mr. Copeland. Mm-hmm. He is the heart and soul of that school. Right. And just talk a little bit about how it is working for him.
Well, I mean, he's, you know, he certainly has molded me in terms of my leadership style. And he hires good people, and he gets out of their way and leaves them alone. And then he guides them. He nurtures them when they need to be guided and needed to be nurtured, and then he turns them loose to run again, or fly again, or soar again. And I've watched over 13 years, you know, young teachers come in that didn't have a clue, and watch them turn into the best of the best professionals. We've had young coaches come in that couldn't get their shirt put on right, that now are tremendous coaches. You know, as I've studied him and watched him and adapted I've learned so much in terms of how to be a leader from him. His, you know, never wavering on me and our staff when we went through the 3 years that we just, you know, he knew, you know, and a lot of principals get impatient right there, and you know, he's the coach. You know, we're playing hard, we're organized, we're representing Davidson well. You know, sometimes you just ain't got the horses, and he recognized that and allowed us to get to this season where our stable is a little stronger, and you know, and having a principal like that that you know is in your corner regardless, is going to back you, is on the sideline for every game with his coaching shirt on, but also can put together a school that is, I believe, public school-wise, the leader academically in our school system, and maybe in 2 counties. It's a tribute to him and the vision he had for Davidson, and what he wanted that school to look like, and it looks exactly what he wanted it to look like. He got those right people put in the right spots, and you know, I told him one day, I want to be just like you. I want to walk around, drink coffee, and look like I ain't doing nothing. and I'm almost there. I'm not quite there yet, but I'm getting there.
Well, that's great. Well, he is a great man and a great leader. Well, Coach, I appreciate you coming by. It's always good to have you.
Thank you. Appreciate
you. And the best of luck for the rest of the year, and hopefully we'll have a playoff run there at the end.
I hope so. Thank you.
Right. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week.